why are y'all so certain that Tory is innocent based off nothing other than that his supposed victim happens to be a black woman?
Why would she have a reason to go that hard and say online, like, nigga, you shot me, like, this happened?
Oh.
Like, you shot me, nigga, and like,
The energy of niggas where they were like, Tory Lanez couldn't have possibly done it. Meg is a lying bitch and she's a man.
Right.
Like all this kind of stuff. I'm like, fuck this bitch. She's masculine. She's a man.
Which
Ooh,
is
she got
crazy.
shot. That's funny. Like all of this kind of real
wild
language against Meg of like, oh, she actually fucked him. And it's like, as if that's evidence one way or the other.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, she fucked him, so did she deserve to?
Right.
But
And
also,
that's
he didn't. Like,
yeah.
What's going on here?
And that's
I didn't do it, but you deserved it. Like, what?
That's the thing, because like, man, like, niggas make it real hard to make men likable.
It's a red flag.
Why him?
Yeah.
And why are you riding so hard on like, I love Hitler? Y'all can't. Y'all need to let it go.
That's
like,
and look, I'm all for being critical of Israel. Like, I'm all for that one. You know what I'm saying? He had a net and a Yahoo drink on the Alex Jones podcast. Just wild the fuck out with like props and doing like a honestly very well polished Elmo voice as Netanyahu.
It was bad for Trump to meet with Nick and Ye. Okay. I had no idea your voice is gonna sound like that, Netanyahu.
And I was like, well, fair enough. I think it is a warring, genocide, and colonial state that is actively killing motherfuckers. I think that's fair. But the rest of this shit all together, you're doing some real Mein Kampf type shit. Well, welcome everybody to Waving the Red Flag, number one dating and pro-Semitic podcast in the universe. It's your boy Eddie. It's Josh. Alvin is currently away. What's Alvin currently away doing? What's he up to? Do we know?
Oh man, bro, come on, baby. It's Christmas Eve. Alvin is actually up in the North Pole helping Santa Claus organize his list to optimize it to make sure everyone's naughty and nice, and then make sure all the Christmas presents are delivered on time.
Ah, yes, of course. So he is an exceptional operations and logistics personnel. I thought you was going to say that he was sneaking into Whoville to steal everybody's presents and shit in the most efficient manner possible.
You know, Alvin fights for
He fights for good. Exactly.
On
he uses his powers of evil for the forces of good.
Exactly.
Speaking of forces of evil, Tory Lanez, you finna get about 15 to 20? What's going on there?
Hey, I'll be honest with you. I was a little bit surprised by the verdict. Mind you, I haven't really been following that case all too heavy, like with everything I guess that's been kind of going on, because it's just been a lot of hearsay. But I don't know, hang on, I have my doubts about some of the stuff that Megan was saying, some of the shit that Tory was saying. It just didn't seem really clear. And then just a lot of the evidence didn't really seem like it would hold up enough to make it just a unanimous, like, guilty across the board.
They said on 3 counts. Guilty, and guilty. Yeah.
All of them. You shot her, you did it. Case closed.
100% of the charges.
Yes, 100%, nigga. Because the craziest thing, like the testimony I saw was, one of the testimonies, like one of the neighbors that was just in the neighborhood, he was just like, yo, I heard it, and I heard these flashes, and like I saw 2 women fighting, and then this little guy comes around the corner, and then he's referring to Tory Lanez as this little guy.
Not the little guy. He climbed up from under a bush.
Yeah, so I'm like, the plot thickens even more. You know what I'm saying? So, but if I'm praying for, as Charlemagne says, peace and healing to everyone, and hopefully they can all, Megan can put this behind her and continue to heal.
I mean, it's interesting because it turned into. I mean, because there's a confluence of like the believe all women thing, and then there's the misogyny element that is of a particular brand within hip hop. Yeah. That's not bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it turned, and there was like, and there was like because of the misogynoir part, it was like women that were like, yo, y'all's energy is crazy on this. Like, y'all are jumping to assume that this nigga didn't do the shit based off very little evidence, very quick to mock and deride a woman who, at several different points in the story, when we didn't know facts, just seems to be a potential victim of domestic abuse.
Yeah.
So when we really didn't know anything, niggas was already ready to make fun of her for getting shot, which was crazy. Because she's, I guess you would say, a dark-skinned woman, like, that kind of shit. So it turned into like a black woman versus black man thing real fucking fast.
Oh yeah.
But I will say, to your point, like I kind of kept out of it because I'm like, I don't like the energy of niggas where they were like, Tory Lanez couldn't have possibly done it. Megan's a lying bitch and she's a man. Right. Like all this kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, well, that's just crazy.
That's weird.
But the other side, yeah, it's like, why are y'all so sure?
Exactly.
Like I'm very much on some like I'm not seeing clear evidence one way or the other. Okay, like cool, she's got a foot injury, but they were or were not seeing each other. What was the reason for it? What kind of altercation was this? Was this domestic violence? Was it, because shooting somebody in the foot is such a strange kind of I don't know. I just wouldn't usually hear of it in a domestic violence kind of a situation. Or at least I wouldn't think. So I'm like, I don't know.
Nothing else. It was a point of intimidation for sure. Nothing else. I mean, like it don't matter.
That makes sense. Yeah, I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I think I looked at it. It was like maybe it was not a domestic violence situation, but a self-defense situation, or a gun went off for another reason and shot somebody in the foot accidentally. Kind of any of those kinds of things. I was like, there's other, but we have a verdict, so now I feel pretty comfortable being like, cool, he did it. Like the evidence was in, a jury of peers reviewed it. He had very strong legal counsel. I think I feel comfortable going, yeah, he did it. And niggas was tripping, and black women were right to be like, why are y'all so certain that Tory is innocent based off nothing other than that his supposed victim happens to be a black woman?
Yeah. Well, okay, so I'll play devil's advocate.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
The black women were doing the same thing.
Okay, what you mean?
They immediately jumped to say this nigga did it, even though like. They had all the same evidence we did, but it was just, a black woman saying, hey, this nigga shot me. And then, under the banner of believe all women. And then, like, even with the evidence that might say, well, hey, he might not have. Like, there's more going on to the story here than what meets the eye. But there was a lot of people just automatically riding for Meg Thee Stallion. For one, just as a black woman, then just off of being a woman GP.
I think I agree with that.
So, I mean, like, there was that going on both sides. And I still don't believe
energy, though, to be fair.
House.
Like I feel like maybe I'm mistaken here, but I feel like the way people were riding for Meg was not the same type of way people were riding against her. Like it was two different types of energies. I felt, but I could be when black women angry and vitriolic against Tory and stuff like that. Some, but in the same way that okay.
Well, not all. You're right. Yeah. But
I mean, but just by volume, because it was a heavy onslaught of. Fuck this bitch, she's masculine, she's a man, she got
crazy.
Shot, that's funny, like all of this kind of real wild language against Meg of like, oh, she actually fucked him, and it's like as if that's evidence one way or the other. Yeah. Like it might be unclear circumstantial, but it's like they're like, oh, she fucked him, so did she deserve to get
Right.
But
and
also, he didn't. Like what's going on here?
And that's the thing.
I didn't do it, but you deserved it. Like what?
That's the thing, because like, man, like, because even when you niggas make it real hard to make men likable.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, look, man, it feels like some wartime shit where it's like people are trying to get along, but if the loudest motherfuckers be the most, combative, so everybody's like, hey, wait. So we're all black, we're all being collectively oppressed, and the only people to benefit from us being able to form clear, and then one nigga's just like throws a chair. I'm mad. And then we're all back to shade room, say cheese, academics bullshit, just biting each other's heads off. And it's like, man, what the fuck? And it's like, whoa, hold, stop. Did you not see who threw the chair? It was the white man or whatever. And it's like,
fuck that nigga.
Yeah,
like
it's kind of exhausting where it's like, well, wait, just calm down when we talk. Like it's like maybe she's telling the truth, maybe now I think we know that she was, but even if we didn't at that point know, let's see what the evidence says and let's just go from that. Why does it gotta turn into this evil?
And that's the thing too, because people kill you.
All women ain't shit.
People kill you like when you just want to wait for the evidence. Like I don't know. Like and like they'll just start calling you no matter which side you on. Like if you were just waiting for evidence and saying, I want to see how this plays out. Like I'm on the fence. I don't know.
Yeah.
How the fuck could you just not believe that? Or
Yeah.
And that's coming from both sides. So
yeah.
But like you said, as soon as that goddamn chair go out. Common sense leaves the building and niggas just start tussling and throwing hands, boy.
And it's crazy because we'd be so close to an impasse or agreeing or like being on the same page, and it's just a thing will happen and people just lose their ability to even empathize. Because we also assume the worst based off of limited information. So if something looks bad, like if the face of something looks bad, we assume it's nothing but super negative intention. And so if the face of a small group of people looks bad, then we assume the worst possible intention for not just that entire group, but everybody they're associated with. So it's like, oh, everybody that even looks anything like that person is out to get us on that whole side, you know? And that's the wartime shit. Like, oh, it's the Irish, it's the British, it's the Pakistanis, whatever. They all after us because one thing happened, you know?
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, hey. Yeah. I'll tell you,
hey,
extremely unfortunate. Extremely unfortunate.
Well, looks like justice will be served. You know, Tory, siempre. What's up?
Goddamn, what? I was just trying to say.
Oh shit! Did I super interrupt you? My fault.
Yes, like I don't know if you noticed.
I lucky didn't even notice. No, I do sometimes, but that I definitely didn't even. I didn't even notice. Until I saw your face, and I was like, oh.
But yeah, like I guess like the other thing too, because I'm kind of definitely leaning more towards Meg, because why would she have a reason to go that hard and say, and just especially hop online like, nigga, you shot me, like this happened.
Oh.
Like you shot me, nigga, and like, you know, and 9 out of 10, like it's black women that will ride for black men, you know, more often than not.
Mm.
But you know, like you said, I do know one thing of I wish that shit would have been on TV or like a live broadcast like that Johnny Depp and Amber Heard shit, because I would have been tuned the fuck in. Like I know that's that might be
because that shit would have done numbers.
That might be that's probably insensitive to even like say out loud, because you know that's you know a very traumatic experience and having that.
But I mean, you know,
there's an aspect of that's kind of insensitive.
It raises awareness. But it raises awareness, right? Yeah. It's good
for educational purposes only.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, Tory Lanez, see you in jail. Maybe on good, you know, get out on good parole or a good behavior or some shit.
Yeah, because shooting somebody in the foot is actually like crazy. I think it's like when I first heard it, it sounded like a comedic story, just because it sounded a little bit like silly. But the more and more I saw takes of it, I was like, oh no, this is actually like really horrific. Like it's actually wild to shoot your partner in their body. You know what I'm saying? For really any reason. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, I strongly believe it was like an intimidation thing. Yeah. But either way, like you said, man, definitely shot her in the foot. Bullet fragments went in her foot, and then like niggas like immediately went to like the Harlem Nights clip when Eddie Murphy shot. Was it Della Reese?
I ain't playing no more. You put that fucking razor away, I'ma blow your goddamn pinky toe off.
Oh, now you're gonna shoot me in my pinky toe.
You gonna be the 9-toe having this limping this bitch in Harlem. You don't stop fucking with me. Now put the razor away.
Well, go ahead. Shoot, here it is. There it is. Shoot, quick, go ahead. Take your best shot.
You haven't seen Harlem Nights?
I've not, no.
Oh my God. That's...
Classic?
Yes, a classic movie. Come on, Eddie Murphy, Red Fox, Richard Pryor. So many legends was in Harlem Nights. Like, Aretha... No, it wasn't Aretha. It was Della Reese. I don't know. Damn it, I can't remember that woman's name.
The legends.
But yeah, like it's the scene where Eddie Murphy and I'm gonna keep saying Della Reese right now. Forgive me if I got that fucked up. But they got into a fight, or they was about to get into a fight, and Della Reese was fucking Eddie Murphy up, and he pulled out like a little pistol, like a real small gun.
Like a Derringer?
And she said, what you gonna do? Yeah, like a little Derringer, like it was a real small little something. She said, what you gonna do? Shoot me, nigga? You gonna shoot me, nigga? And he looked at two niggas on the side. They was like, he shot her dead in the foot.
Did you see that old lady getting arrested? Did you watch that video?
That was crazy. That was sad. I think that shit happened like yesterday. It was very recent, right? just recent within the last like day or so. Old lady, 82 years old, is being arrested because she hadn't paid her water trash bill.
I got you, okay? You gotta be shaving yourself. Arresting an 82-year-old person.
I am so sorry, but the law is the law, Miss Van.
Like
$77 for
$77
for a trash fine or something like that, and she couldn't pay it, and came to her house. Black officer too.
Two officers, yeah, one of which the one who arrested her was black, and I was like, man, the fact that he was like, he was giggling like, man, ain't this crazy? Like I know it sucks that I have to do this, and it wasn't an evil laugh. It wasn't like a fuck you. It was like this is a little bit silly, but I'm like, but he wasn't taking it seriously. Like, I think he was looking at it like, oh man, isn't this such a goofy situation? I'm arresting you for this thing. It's like, yo, you're stripping her of her dignity. Like, you're arresting somebody's old ass 82-year-old, somebody's grandma. And then you got to put her in the back of the cruiser, drive her in, fucking stamp her in or whatever, and then probably put her in a cell for holding somewhere before releasing her on a fine. The fact that he even agreed to do that shit is crazy.
I mean,
and then he defended it with the law as the law. It's like, don't you realize that you're the Nazi, you're the fascist, you're the Gestapo, like whatever, like you're the stormtrooper in this situation? I just wonder why people don't like question, like, oh wait, I'm the villain, like I'm a stormtrooper right now.
I kind of think that's where that awkward laugh came from, because like you said, it wasn't like a villainous. You deserve this,
it wasn't. Yeah.
You know, but
he felt he was aware of the ridiculousness.
He was aware of the ridiculousness of this, but I gotta do my job. When your job is fucked up, but that's why I was going to say, like, bro. That's why I was going to say. That's why I was talking about, like, last episode. It's like the justice system, and like I'm all for reform, bro, and like there's so much nuance and shit that kind of goes into stuff. But when you just have these rigid ass laws, and the laws don't make sense to fit all of these situations, this situation being one of them, like. But you can't step outside of that, because it's like your job might be on the line. It's like, well, somebody else is just going to pull up and arrest it and probably be a lot more cruel with it and body slam this one goddamn officer might fuck around, come up and body slam this old woman. Yeah. So I'm not.
That's interesting reasoning.
It's just a fucked up system, so I can't even put all the onus on him and be like, don't you see that you're the. I mean, because I'm pretty sure he was aware of that.
Yeah. But I don't think he was.
I don't know.
He said the law is the law.
Yeah,
I
know.
That to me seems like him justifying it, as opposed to being like, this is ridiculous, but I have to do it, and they're going to send somebody. I'd rather it be me, Miss Johnson or whatever. I'd rather it be me, because you're going to get arrested either way. But he wasn't. It didn't feel like that. It felt like he understood it was ridiculous, but he felt like it was him doing his job as it meant to be. It was cold. If he was like, look, I need this job. I can't get fired.
Oh, I don't want to do this.
Somebody's going to. Yeah, if he said, I don't want to do this, then I'd be more inclined to what you were saying. But I don't think, I think he was like, yeah, this is ridiculous, but bitch, you shouldn't have broke the law. I mean, maybe not the energy of bitch, but like definitely you shouldn't have broke the law.
Yeah. And, okay, so check this out, though. What if it was, say for instance, like, what if it was me that didn't pay that $77 bill and they came up to arrest me? Like, would you have that same energy?
Yes. I mean, I would have it slightly less because you're a less vulnerable person, but for the most part, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, arresting an adult or just a person for less than $100 fine is insane. That's police state shit.
That's the way this fucked up. I mean, that's the way that fucked up system works. It's like they'll put a warrant out on you. That's what happened to her. Like the fine went unpaid for, I guess, however long, and then they put a warrant out. Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, completely unacceptable, I'd say. Yeah.
Crazy. Open and shut case on that one. I'm pretty sure. I'm hoping she's out by now, like a $77.
Jesus.
If I was a cop, honestly, I would have been like, goddamn it, it's Christmas. Like, look, I'm gonna cash out somebody in your family 77. Like, just
that's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, it's
I get what you're saying about a system and all that kind of stuff, but I'm like, look, you only have. Look, you can't save every goddamn body. I get that. Yeah. Right? You got to live your life. You got to take care of your kids. You got to pay your mortgage. You can't recycle every single bottle and give all away your money to share. It's difficult. I get it. But you do have these little opportunities in life to like stand on a principle. And I'm like, would it have been that hard for him to be like, look, I object. I'll pay the $80. I'm not arresting a 77-year-old man. And I don't know. Maybe they did catch him in the 22 where they were like, hey, look, we're going to send somebody else if you don't do it. You can object all you want. Like, we can't physically make you go arrest her, but somebody, she's getting arrested. Mm. And maybe that was the situation, but I'm just wondering, did he even try? Did he even try to object? Did he even try to say, I'm not doing this? Did he even try to say, I'll pay it? Did he even try to say, hey, look, I'm not serving this warrant. I'm conscientiously objecting. Did he even attempt to say, come to her door, turn the camera off and say, hey, look, it's an arrest warrant out for you. I'm going to say we didn't see you today. But next time we come up here, I'm going to have to arrest you. But I'm going to say we knocked on the door and we couldn't find you.
Yeah.
But we got to figure out a way to, just something. Did he try? And it looked like he didn't try.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, but yeah. I mean, because that's also what I was saying the last podcast. Like, we're seeing a snapshot. Because when he got the order to go and arrest her, he might have put up that fight, but we don't know.
Yeah.
We just see what happened in that video. And unfortunately, it didn't seem like you said, it wasn't that full-on white angry cop, visual that we have in our head, and just like body slamming, like, the elderly and the defenseless. But at the same time, it wasn't like, man, look, I really don't want to do this. Like, I get it. This is ridiculous. Like, you ain't got no business going to jail, like, over something like this. But, how the law's the law. The law. I got to uphold the law. I got to do my job, because if I let you get away with it, I'll goddamn have to let 10 other criminals get away with their petty offenses, too. I got to do it,
Yeah.
It's fucked.
And that's the fucked up logic. That's that fucked up Handmaid's Tale, martial law state type bullshit. Yeah. You want to pick one? Because I think we got a lineup. Some good ones this week.
Oh man, yeah, it's a whole goddamn list of shits. Did you okay? Is there a mic plugged in?
Does it sound like off?
It sound like it's kind of coming from the room instead of like just directly speaking into something. I meant to say it during the pre-show.
Oh damn! Hold on.
Okay, how's that?
There you go. Now you're coming in live.
Now we're pod. Damn. Well, sorry folks for that quality. Yeah, thanks for letting me know. Welcome to the pod. Yeah.
Welcome back to the pod and welcome to my voice without sounding like I'm speaking to you in the stadium.
Damn. All right. Well, shit. I'm gonna have to fix that in post. That's annoying. Well, yeah. What do we got?
Oh, a juicy one. Why do men date plain Janes?
Okay, let's put up the clip. Boom, right there.
Nigga rig.
I just want to say this because this really been on my mind lately. I have nothing against the plain Jane females. And what I mean by that, like the females who doesn't go out, the female who doesn't like get their makeup done, the female who doesn't really get their hair done often. But why is it so hard for us pretty girls to come across a decent guy? It just seemed like all the guys, the good guys, always like cuff the plain Jane females.
Sir Edward Overgold, thoughts?
Sir bitches. I don't know. You were shaking that head like Bollywood, so it sounded like you had something to say, or it looked like you did.
Bruh, man, my first thought, hearing that, every time I watched that video, my first thought was, who gonna tell her?
A lot of people were saying that in the comments. I don't know.
Who gonna tell her?
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that in the comments.
No,
but I didn't. Yeah, because there's
no, please. Because
there's two ways to. Because I don't know, man. Because it's two ways. I'm trying. It's two ways to interpret it. Because one is like, is what she's saying even true? Which that's an interesting topic. But also, like, is what she's talking about even applying to her situation? And I feel like people are talking about both of those. When I was hearing what she was saying, I was taking pretty to mean take care of themselves, not necessarily like genetically gifted.
You mean makeup? She was like, because that's personally what I took it to mean. Makeup,
clothing, earrings, hair, etc. Are you did or not? That's what I took it to mean. Not like, okay. Are you a genetic beauty,
or just a naturally aesthetically pleasing person?
Yeah, she was like, because she said plain Janes, and then described what she meant by that as like girls who don't get their hair done that much, who don't go out that much, who their clothing isn't necessarily the most fashionable shit. They're not wearing a bunch of makeup, etc., which is distinct from Or so I wasn't hitting it with too much who gonna tell her energy. I was just like, I think I know what she meant.
Okay, because she kept saying,
she did keep saying it's a curse, like it's not a choice. So that
like, because she was talking like she was just like one of the most beautiful people on this earth. Like she was like gifted beautiful,
Yeah.
just off rip.
Yeah.
When hey,
But it's
who gonna
spirit
tell her?
world, man. It's spirit world. It's fake gender war psyop shit.
True
Like
that.
she
True
probably
that,
a paid
true
actor.
that, true
Like
that.
that shit probably not even real. Like
You're
I
right.
guarantee you that's a skit. That's somebody she makes skit videos or something. I don't know her face, but I guarantee that ain't real.
Cause bro, like just like it's a lot of it's women out here who actually think like that. So I think the conversation is warranted. Just like it's crazy because like I feel like that line of thinking is opposite of red pill ideology. Kind of like almost femcel shit, but not instead of being like involuntarily celibate, like you can't find a meaningful relationship.
Yeah. Okay.
There's got to be a word for that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's femcelly kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah, it's like why can't I is always kind of cell type logic. Yeah.
Oh
yeah. I mean, look, but I think the more interesting bit is.
Well, but at the end of the day, this is like one of those cases where the women who were replying in the comments got it right for the most part, because they were saying a lot of guys don't even like that shit. A lot of guys don't even go for all that makeup. Like we don't require all that makeup and shit that y'all require for y'all selves. And it's just like how they always say. It's like, yeah, we like pretty women, but a lot of the times, like if it's just a lot of makeup, I know hella niggas overwhelmingly that say less is more. I would prefer a more natural, woman. Like, yeah, a little foundation, a little something, But if you see a girl and she's got like a lot of makeup on, like she looks good, so you're not gonna be like, oh my god. It's like half dudes gonna be like, that's too much makeup for me. Half dudes just gonna think she looks nice, and might think it's not as much makeup as it is because they've gotten really good with applying it and making it look more natural. But when the makeup comes off, a lot of them do look really different from when they had it on. And I don't mean that in a negative or positive way. I'm just saying. They look different from when they had it on. So it might not be what you initially thought. So that's one reason why a lot of guys just prefer like the plain Janes, the girls that don't really care about all that materialistic shit, or the girls that don't really care about like makeup all that much, like, or they don't require makeup every time they go out and just be all up in the mirror and just worried about their looks and worry about all this aesthetic shit. Like that's not really the things that a lot of us or a lot of guys necessarily value the same way as women value it. And if you're talking about finding a man, a good man, if you're talking about finding a good man, keeping a good man, like, of course, his preferences comes into play for what he likes. And if you're not doing that, and if all you just bring to the table is looks, but your personality is trash, or your personality is your looks, they're not going to want to deal with that. Like, that's not appealing.
See, because I think we're looking at it maybe from two slightly different angles even, because I wasn't looking at it too much on the like, makeup that covers what you really look like type of vibe. I suppose that's part of it. I was looking at it as like, no, you are pretty. You're pretty without the makeup, and you take a lot of care of yourself. But I kind of was like, well, one, like I said, I think this is psyop skit shit. So I don't even know if what she's even saying and what she's even observing of men is even true. Like, I don't even know. Like, I know niggas say, oh, we don't like makeup, da-da-da-da. But I'm like, are women who are really put together and really out and about, do they really struggle to find men who want to
Some do.
have
Yeah, bro, like,
okay, some do, but like a lot.
I think a fair amount of women struggle with finding relationships. Or like getting like, when they have a good man, like a man that treats them well, and then like having a relationship with that good man. And that could also be, there might be some scarcity of good men, or just there's a lot of things that could go, there's a lot of factors that could go into that. But yeah, I do believe that's a thing too, because there's a lot of women out here who, just like men, there's a lot of women out here who are lonely, who would like to be in a relationship, but not necessarily require being in one. But it's just like when it finally happens, it's like, oh my God, thank you, I finally found my person. Where the fuck have you been for these last 5 years?
Well, then my take would be, if that is true, I'm gonna give insight into my own masculine mind on this one, because I do have a theory on it. Because I like what she's saying there. I definitely feel elements of that. My theory would be it's about lifestyle match. Because when I think about like, because I'm not gonna say I'm a good nigga, but when I'm looking for like, if I'm looking for somebody to like settle down, chill the fuck out, make some muffins with, like do that kind of shit, I'm not looking for somebody who's booked, busy, ripping and running on Instagram, crazy. Like that's that's a really hot person. That might be a person that I definitely want to like be around and hang out with and party with. But if I'm looking for somebody to be settled down with as we both focus on whatever we're doing, you know, I'm looking for she's a doctor, she's an architect, she's a project manager, she's not super duper heavy, you know, on makeup, she's not out super duper social, she's doing her thing. We can have a nice low energy, mild mannered lifestyles that can kind of fit together. That would be my theory.
We essentially saying the same thing.
Okay, yeah. No, that's why I said slightly. Like, I think there's overlap, but slightly different.
There's more overlap than difference. But yeah, like, because you just went more in depth with the lifestyle aspect of it. But like, yeah, like, because a lot of guys don't necessarily care to deal with that, because though that mentality from what she's speaking from is based on looks, is just based off external shit. Like, and I know guys get a lot of flack for, you know, being extremely shallow or like, you know, unintelligent. But niggas is kind of smart too. Like, niggas is kind of smart. Like, we're smarter than we get credit for. And it's like, your looks can get you in the door, but if you ain't got no personality or nothing to back it up, or if you're just constantly taking away from my life or just putting a drain on my shit, then I don't want to deal with that. I don't. But
I feel like we're all like, it's not just that, because you could be somebody who is like intelligent and has good conversation and all that kind of stuff. But if you add the like vanity element, that could take away from looking at you as a real serious potential partner. Like, even if you do have that stuff,
that is very true.
You could fully be a doctor, but if I'm like, oh, but you look, and this goes back to something that she kind of said that I would say is accurate in part of this. I am 100% thinking about like, how many other suitors do you have around? I'm not trying to be in a relationship. If I'm trying to settle down, I'm not trying to be in active competition. Like, I want somebody who, once they're out of dating mode, they're really out of dating mode and off the market. But if you booked busy, super social on Instagram, posted up bikini, you know, pics, you have tons of people in your DMs that you have to ignore or reject or block. It's like, that's not really compatible with me feeling really secure in a relationship. So I think, I think we're on the same page here. Like, it is a, how are we going to build a secure relationship? But it is a stereotype or like a guess, because I'm guessing based off if you're more on the vain side, I guess, or more on the vain and outgoing side. I'm like, I'm guessing it will be harder to maintain a healthy relationship of the kind that I want with you. That might not always be true, but you got to do those kind of calculations. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, you though, like, I mean, because there could always be exceptions to a rule, right?
Well, yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, you could find that, you very well could find that one woman who's vain, outgoing, but somehow,
but I'm not gonna bet
it
on
works. Yeah, like not, you know, you can see it working, but most women might not. Is not going to fulfill that for you.
And I think it's the same thing with or like women do a similar calculation where they want like their offline boyfriend or their dad bod boyfriend. It's the same thing. You're looking for a man who is somebody good to settle down with, not necessarily the hottest, coolest, you know, darkest, most mysterious nigga. The nigga who's like attractive enough that you're interested in, but also non-threatening enough and non-outgoing enough that you think you can build a long-term, stable relationship with this person. Yeah. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Yeah. You feel security, So I think we're just looking for security, in that it's like if you a 10 that's posting daily bikini pics on Instagram, you know, you out at galas every night. I'm at home. Where's my baby at? Like, I'm not doing that.
Goddamn, just seeing your beat up, your fucking tattered wife beater you've had for 10 years, or some goddamn some sweats that got a mustard stain on them, and your girl is, you know, fucking bad bitched out on IG and shit. You know what I mean? But
good. But man. I want somebody. She in sweatpants with me, 2 legs all hairy. We watching Netflix. That's cool. That's how you spend the rest of your life.
Indeed, man. Like something easy. But perfect segue. What do you think about the husband who divorced his wife and started an OnlyFans?
What was do you want to read that one? Because I can't remember what the particulars were.
All right. A man has said that he is filing for divorce from his wife after she started an OnlyFans account, and it's really dividing opinion. The husband explained that his wife has always been very active on social media and gained thousands of followers on Instagram through a post. When one of his wife's friends told her how much money she makes through sharing adult content on the paid for subscription platform OnlyFans, and how freeing it was, she informed her husband she was going to sign up. She said that she had always been a free spirit and revealed her plan to quit her job once she built up a profitable fan base. But he says the decision has not only angered him but upset their 11-year-old daughter, whose friends teased her about it when her mom put up a poll on Instagram asking if her followers would like to see her OnlyFans content. He wrote on Reddit, "Now I'm strictly against this for 2 reasons. For my own personal reasons and because we have kids. I told her that I'm uncomfortable dating a sex worker and that our eldest has social media and so do her friends. This would ruin her." After his wife reposted the poll on social media, he continued, "Our daughter screamed at her mother and nasty words were exchanged. The mom and the daughter got into it. They're not talking for 2 weeks. The dad filed for divorce 2 weeks after that. A lot of people are berating him and telling him like he's very insecure. How could you tear your home apart over this? What kind of 18th century shit is this?" And a lot of other people are coming to his aid saying that should have been a decision that y'all would have made together because it did violate your boundaries. So where are we at?
I don't know, man. I feel like you really can't control your wife's body like that. You know what I'm saying?
But see, that kind of contradicts. I mean, yeah, you cannot control your wife's body. You can't. But guess what, though?
Man,
guess what, though? I mean, because,
what?
like, look, you can't control your wife's body, but at the same time, if you have, like, boundaries that you're not comfortable with, that doesn't make you, like, an insecure person. It doesn't make you feel like you don't have a right to feel how you feel. It's like, yeah, you can do whatever you want with your body, but if that's what you're going to do, I'm not okay with that. So I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and you can do what you can do, what you going to do.
But don't you
just
think
as you so eloquently said a while back, and I'm taking your words.
Yeah, but don't you think there's something to be said about like you can draw a boundary that's ridiculous, right? Like you can say like don't leave the house or I'm leaving you, and it's like, well, yeah, sure, that's a boundary. So some boundaries can be absurd. So you can't just say it is a boundary.
Of course you can, but if we're going off this, is that such a ridiculous, absurd boundary? If you don't essentially want your wife to engage in porn or sex work.
If your wife wants to suck other people's dicks, post them online, it's not for you to say.
It's not for you to say. You cannot feel any type of way about it.
No, it's not.
It's not your right.
Her mouth, her choice. All right. His dick, his choice. You sit your ass at home like a good little husband. Nah, man, I'm 100% bullshitting. I am 100% on your side from the beginning. It's completely I wasn't expecting you to agree with me, like to be so diplomatic in your response to my initial take.
Oh, you thought I was about to be ignorant, so you could just make me dig a grave? Yeah.
No. So I could then be like, oh, nah, I'm just bullshitting. But yeah, no, 100% she's in the wrong. That's insane. I don't think there's no starting sex work while you are in a monogamous relationship without consulting your partner is cheating. Period. That's it. There's no 2 ways about that. That's it. Now, there's zero controversy. Now, if he signed up for it and said, yeah, we should, and then changed his mind, then maybe. But if you just said, hey, this is what I'm finna do, okay, cool. That's like saying, hey, so look, my secretary at work, she really likes me. I'm gonna start fucking her. So now we're in an open relationship. It's like, no, you don't get to do that. You're married. You're in a monogamous relationship. You made a commitment. You have to sit down and decide if you want to stay together at that point.
Well, okay. So let's try to reel it back on. No. Let's try to reel it back on the example of that, right? Because that's a clear line of cheating. But with the OnlyFans things, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there who would probably say, "Oh no, man," because she's not actively. Say, for instance, if Alvin was here. We've had this discussion, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but a lot of times he's expressed that he wouldn't really care about something like that as long as she's not actually physically interacting with someone else.
That's crazy.
So, hey, he's a
different type of fellow. He's a different type of fellow. Okay,
he's a different man than I. So let's say for instance, your husband starts stripping. He ain't fucking none of these women.
That's crazy.
He ain't. Yeah, well, he got. Goddamn dick out, goddamn slapping and getting tipped.
Because they be touching. That's no.
Yeah, no.
What are we talking about? Like, come on. Because I think the thing is, porn is normalized in such a way that everybody just doesn't know what the fuck is going on. You are exchanging photographic sexual experiences with another human being for your own sexual gratification outside of your monogamous relationship. Now, again, I've kept the same energy. If you're a partner and you say, I don't want to date somebody who watches porn, I used to think that was crazy. I think it's perfectly fucking reasonable. I think it's perfectly reasonable in a monogamous relationship to say, I don't want either of us to do or consume porn. The fact that what I just said is a controversial statement, I think is a testament to how fucking crazy our culture is around like what relationships are and what porn is. Because that's crazy
wild.
as fuck.
Yeah. Because I gotta disagree a little bit on that. Like, none of us can watch porn now because that's cheating.
It is. No, look, if in your relationship you're cool with that, fine. Some people are cool with fucking other people. But the fact that we view that as a default element of monogamy, which is like, if you're dating a man, because we're mostly talking about men, let's be real here, right? Like, if you're dating a man and you're in a monogamous relationship, hey, look, he's just gonna jerk off to like lots of other women. He's gonna consume the content of lots of other women getting fucked and showing their breasts and showing their vaginas and sexually gratifying himself to that. That's just gonna be that's what it is. And you still have to accept that as monogamy. That's crazy as fuck.
I'll tell you, okay, well, all right, well.
Because if your girl was flicking that bean to solo male performers every single night, niggas would feel a certain type of way.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Come on.
But I will say,
I
think a lot of I know a lot of for myself. Like sometimes when I watch porn, if I watch it, I'm thinking about somebody. I'm just using this as a catalyst to like just kind of get off. Like when it kind of happens, I'm really kind of just replaying in the memory bank, and this is kind of like a pseudo. Pulling up kind of like my own like compiled memories or whatever, with the exploits. So
sure,
I mean, because if I had a girl,
but also like think about what you just said.
I mean, it was a bit of a moot point.
Yeah, I was fucking her, but I was thinking of you, nigga. Don't nobody give a shit about that. That's not a monogamy argument. Like, think about it. Like, come on.
I don't give a fuck. You could have had this. Well, see, I was actually thinking about you 2.0, which is I got the extra 1 point with this person
with her tits. So I was thinking about her head on your body, so it's or that kind of shit. It's like, no, the fact that you're thinking about somebody else while fucking / masturbating to somebody else is like, that's not winning no points.
Yeah.
I mean, it's less. No, you're right. Look, if you were fucking another girl and you weren't thinking of your wife, that's worse, I guess. But it's not really solving the problem.
But we're kind of moving the goalposts here because we're just talking about masturbation. We wasn't actually talking about actually going
analogy.
Somebody else.
No, it's an analogy.
I mean, okay,
like
but it gets lost.
I'm comparing. No, hold on. You understood what I was, because I felt like you understood what I was saying initially.
I felt that you were moving the goalpost.
No, okay. So I'm making it. Okay.
You're making an analogy on the analogy on the analogy.
No, I was making an analogy and then for fuck's sake. Sorry, we're getting wheezy. So all I was saying is that in the way that changing what your mental state is during an act of infidelity doesn't really make it acceptable. That's true in, for example, if that infidelity was fucking, or if, for example, that infidelity was masturbation.
Yeah.
That's all I was saying.
Yeah, I feel it. I guess it depends on the couple. Like you said, I guess if they are okay with it or it's not really that big of a thing. Oh, okay. What about the body count situation? I think there was like one Reddit post where this guy said he broke up with his girlfriend over her body count. I think the guy was like 23, the girl was 21, and he found out that they was talking one night and she playfully asked him, how many people have you had sex with? And, he was like, didn't really think too much of it. And he just kind of jokingly went along, said a number. And then, so, of course, he kind of returned the energy jokingly and, just kind of jovial. And she was like, around like 21 guys. Or it was like 20. And she's 21 at the time in college. And he wasn't okay with that. Like the body count, like just fucked up his whole outlook on that relationship. And he broke up with her.
21 is not that and this is not me bullshitting. 21 is not that crazy. We got to close it out after this one, but 21 is not that crazy. I feel like that's if you active from 17 to how old were they? 25. 21.
Yeah,
that's 3 years. Oh, okay, 21. No,
yeah,
that's 4 years.
I thought
that's that's like, what is that? What's 21 divided by 4? That's like 5.
It's like 8 something.
It's like 4 or 5. That's like 5 or 6.
No, it's like 7. 21.
17,
7
18,
times 3 is
19, 20,
21.
21.
7 times 3 is 21.
Oh,
So
okay.
7 point something.
But it's not
like
3
7
years, it's 5 years.
Oh, my fault. I mixed the years up. You said 21 divided by 5?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we sound dumb as fuck.
Or divided by 4, but yeah, 5, yeah.
We sound dumb as fuck. Yeah, 5.
Yeah, we don't know nothing about, man.
Alvin should have been here, goddamn. Like, these niggas right here.
Because I was getting confused as well. I was like, oh, but we said 17 to okay, but let's say she started it. Because I'm thinking when you lose your virginity, when you start fucking, et cetera, that's an average of like 4 to 8 people per year. That's a little heavy. That's like medium heavy, I would say. That's not insane though.
Yeah, it's not difficult to rack up bodies.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you really only need one clean year of like active dating and like a crazy summer to where as a woman having, just living her free life, it's easy to rack up at least a body a month. That's very easy.
Oh,
and
minimum.
not even on some, and I don't even mean easy on like, oh, women can get men easy. I just mean like even finding a man that you are mutually attracted with and finding yourself in that interaction and wanting to, and he wants to, like that whole situation, easy to stack up a body a month. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So 2 years of that, like that's not that, it's not that crazy. If you're going out and that kind of thing, it's not that hard.
It's not. And like when I first read the Reddit piece, I was like, I mean that nigga tripping, because I'm like 21 bodies, but I'm thinking like she's like 30 something.
Yeah.
But when I was like, when I had went back and I said, oh, she's 21, I'm like, oh, okay, that is a little, but at the same time, I do not have that body count conversation anymore. Like I've never know.
The only time that's ever happened is when she asked me, because she has a body count that she thinks is large, and I'm like, calm down, it's good. That's literally the only time a girl's asked me my body count has been girls who perceive their own body count to be high, and they're looking for either reassurance, or it's like a little bit of not a test, but like they're like, they want to avoid this situation.
I think it might be kind of like a little bit of a guilt thing. Like, I don't know if he's going to be okay with my sexual past, so let me see if he might be. And I can be like, oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah. I think it's guilt and shame and stuff like that. But I guess I want to be careful with the language, because I'm like,
yeah, right.
I think it can turn into like, because a lot of times with this like accountability, women's accountability, guilt stuff,
right.
It's like we're acting like it's bad. But my stance is that it's not bad, just that she thinks that it's bad. So I think there's an unwarranted guilt sometimes that people feel, where they're like, oh, I don't want this person to like hate me. What if he thinks I'm a slut? Let me find out first, just so I can put it on the front end. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to almost lead with your like red flags, because you don't want to end up 5 years into a relationship.
Right.
You tell a nigga, hey, I got 40 bodies, and then he's like, oh, you harlot. And it's like, okay, fuck, let me just bring this up as soon as I realize I like him. So I've had a few of those where they're like, what's your body count? And I was like, da da da. And they were like, oh, okay. And then there's that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But I've never had those conversations. I've had like hoax story conversations of exchanging specific stories, but not like a metric like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think I was 29 maybe. And this was the girl I was like seriously dating. We did have like a discussion. I kind of brought it up. And yeah, like, I mean, it wasn't like she was surprised at my body count. My body count ain't even high. And she was like, oh my God, like what? I was like, really? Damn, like, you think that's high? Like, shit, I know niggas that's double and triple that shit. Like these niggas is all time. I thought I was.
Oh, she looked at yours and thought it was high.
Yeah, once my shit ain't even that crazy. But yeah, after that, and then just kind of becoming more aware of just the conversation around that, and then knowing me, like, because I'm not totally comfortable with somebody who might have just done a lot. It's just I don't need to know about it. I don't really care to even have the conversation in the first place. Like, what does it matter? Like, as long as your past don't come up in our present, I don't really necessarily need to know about it. You know what I mean? As long as I don't feel like you're lying to me or manipulating or deceiving me, like, you know what I'm saying? It can just kind of.
I don't even necessarily disagree, but I'm like, but because a lot of times these body count, because like the first thing that we said was like, oh, that's not even that much of a lot. But I'm kind of like, let's say it was a lot. Like, what does that mean? I feel like, because I'm not even going to sit up here and say like, oh, I don't have some kinds of feelings about those kinds of things. But it's like, are those warranted? Are those right? Is that is that their problem, et cetera, et cetera? Like, let's say it was 400. Like, is that, which I think everybody can kind of agree that's high for 21. If it
that's
was
a lot for 30 or 40.
That's a lot for 90, bro. That's lifetime Hall of Fame numbers, I would say. But people have higher numbers.
She up there with the All Stars, not the Hall of Fame, but she definitely up there. I mean, they are with
Double
the All
XL.
Stars, maybe not the Hall of Fame, but yeah.
Yeah, it's numbers. People have in the thousands.
Yeah,
like I was watching a Cut episode, and they had people on there, and it was like they had people who had like regular person big numbers, like they had 60, 95, 57, that kind of, it's like, okay, cool, you've been around, that's a high number, but not, it's human. And it was one nigga that came on, he was like 1,500. I was like, Jesus, like
you fucking everybody.
Yeah, gee, did you fuck me? Like, when did this happen? Jesus Christ. That's the whole population. Yeah. It's not that many people in just physically available. Like, how did you even
day in and day out? That's a
half
lot of
people are children. Like, how are you even bracking up the type of numbers? Like, good God. But he got So let's say she does have a objectively like high percentile, like she's in the top 10% of body numbers. What's the significance of that? I think there can be a version where it's
I do not have the dialect, the articulation to express how I feel without it dipping its toes into some red pill bullshit.
Sounding crazy.
But,
okay. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, because I ain't gonna hold you. There are some things or some concepts that them niggas do speak on, which is, I mean, they're not wrong, but they go off the deep end with every fucking thing they say, so it just negates the solid shit that they said at the start that had some standing on. But for one, I don't conduct myself in that manner. And I would like a woman who kind of has, like, similar morals and similar values, like with her own body. And then once again, it's kind of hard for me not to dip it into some non-progressive blah 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 stuff, but there's something I'm really goddamn trying to do a lot of mental gymnastics to make this shit not sound crazy. Because I know if I say it, I know they're not going to understand. I mean, it's probably sounding worse even now. It's just, I'm making it worse.
He's like, look, how do I say this? Look, Hitler had a lot of great ideas, okay? Look, I can't say the gender of the slut, but the slut was a woman. Yeah.
Right. Andrew Tate isn't all that bad.
He's made some points. I don't understand.
He's made
he's from the country of Pakistan. I don't know.
But I'm just gonna say this, man. Like, I mean, fuck it. If you rock with it, you rock with it. If you don't, whatever. Probably didn't like me anyway. But there's something to. I know, right? But like, there is something to the fact of I do kind of like women who at least seem kind of like a little bit more exclusive. Like, I don't mind somebody being like sexual, like they have experiences, but if it's just like you fucking like boom 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 boom, like that's what we doing. Just like the whole like I'm not comfortable with my girl just doing OnlyFans or being on Instagram just showing her body and sharing it for the world like every day. If that's just what you do on a daily basis, I'm not really that comfortable with it. So at the same time, I'm not really that comfortable with my potential mate also like sharing her body in a sense of that nature. And also take into account I'm also not really doing that myself. Once again, I'm no prude by any stretch of the means. So I have wiggle room there. Like, I have a lot of wiggle room there. Like, I just don't necessarily care to know all of what you've done, because I know most people have done a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just
grown and living life.
That's just me. Yeah.
So
yeah,
can you say can you elaborate on the why? Because I'm not even getting into like a disagreement level. I'm just trying to figure out like what the thoughts are behind it on some of these things, or the feelings, I should say. Like, why do you not want that in a woman? Like, I know you said, oh, but I'm the same type of thing, but like that's not really a reason.
That kind of is a reason. That's part of it.
Can I explain why I think it maybe?
I get what you're saying, but I'm also going to defend what I also said too. It's kind of like you like the idea of when you find your person. It's like, this is my person. Like, not many people have gotten what I've gotten. Like, not many people have had this. Not many people know my person. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is special. I finally found my person. Like, this is me. Like, she's not just. Yeah, like she chose me, and like it means more. Instead of I could just be another notch on the belt or just another experience for like a little bit of a time. Of course, just because someone has a very large body count does not indefinitely mean that's what it is. But there is also a sentiment that kind of goes along with the more exclusive person who's not really out here like that.
Yeah, I think that part makes sense to me, or like that part I can relate to and feel justified in relating to is like, I think wanting to feel special makes a big difference. And if it feels like you're interchangeable, or you're like the first person that was willing to, or the first person they were able to maintain a relationship with, but they've tried it a bunch and they've got a bunch of other people that they actually would prefer to be with, or they've got a bunch of old people that they are still in love with, and that kind of stuff, that can make you really feel like a second, third, fourth, 401st option. And I think that's a pretty justifiable stance. But kind of going back to what you hinted at, I feel like that's maybe not for you, but for a lot of niggas, that's decoupled from the body count situation. Because they're not talking about how many niggas she's been in love with. She's not, because if somebody says like, hey, I've had mad bodies, and you believe them, but I want you in a way that I've not wanted people before. And I understand, like, sometimes that's bullshit. Like, because male and female hoes both say versions of like, I never felt like this about nobody, but it's like, you've definitely felt like this about every single person.
This is different.
Yeah. So I get that. But if you know, oh, no, this person is moving in a way that's very, like that episode of Fresh Prince, or like in King of the Hill, where it was like, you have a promiscuous person who finally meets somebody that makes them want to slow down. So what if you're the person that makes her want to slow down? Like, she used to be a hit it and quit it type of a person, but she wants to slow down for you. Does that not make you feel special? Or is there something more than just feeling special?
See, and that's also, if I'm being real,
yeah,
there's definitely some ideals within me that is like
That's why I asked that question.
Yeah, because but like I meant what I said earlier too, but like there is also like some deeper layered stuff within me that I'm not comfortable with. And I do ask myself like those questions, why am I not comfortable with it? And I don't have the answers right now, but I know I still kind of feel like, not really that comfortable with it. But once again, we're gonna keep it a buck, gonna keep it funky. There is definitely some aspects of property in like that woman's purity. Like there are aspects of that too, like property and purity, which is bullshit. But it's still like some aspects of it there, and I don't have all the words for it to express myself as like probably as well as you would if you felt how I felt to make it not sound crazy as fuck. But yeah, like that shit does exist. Like I mean that's a real thing, and I know where like a lot of we're trying to tear down like all these constructs and whatnot, but it exists right now. Yeah, I know that's
But I think then you have the response, and again, like that's why I'm talking through it, because I feel like a lot of times or at least not necessarily on this podcast, but just other people I see, they talk past the conversation. Like they go like, this is how do men care about body count? And then they have this whole long argument where they never actually talk about why or the reasons or any of the feelings behind it. They never have the conversation that they're actually about what they're actually talking about. So I don't have the answers, but I suspect there's all of this asking like property. Question. Yeah. There's these property, purity, and like what is it? What are the feelings there? Yeah. I think some of them are more justifiable than others. Wanting to feel secure in your relationship, wanting to feel like it's monogamy built on specialness, not on settling. I think those are very valid, but I think a lot of it is that property and
But
purity, like,
yeah,
language, and that is applied only to penetration. Like you're only worried about male bodies. You're not worried about her eating somebody's pussy. Like some people are, but you're not. If she ate 1,000 pussies, niggas are not as worried as if she sucked 12 dicks.
yeah,
So
yeah, and that's and that's
it's just a different
because
energy.
yeah, absolutely, and that's because like I guess part of that is niggas don't necessarily perceive women as much of a threat if their woman is still like into men, and then they think that, oh man, my girl like girls, like I can get in on this, we can do this together. Like they think, well, this we can do this together, and I'm still taking lead on her pleasure.
That's double the bitches.
That's double
not
the
even
bitches.
thinking
Like,
about getting cheated on. We just going. That's
right.
more bitches for me somehow.
Right. That's double bitch. Oh shit! You mean to tell me I can still get other bitches and have you? Yeah, no.
And
But
then
see,
be
like
confused,
that's,
like, wait, my bitch leaving me for a bitch? What?
That's not
Math ain't
compute.
mathing. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, because honestly, I don't think a lot of guys feel the way you feel, like that from what you just said, but I don't think they can articulate that or express that. Like it's something I want to feel special, or I don't want to feel like last option, or just some fly by night.
Yeah.
It's
like,
so,
I'm the first person who's been willing to put up with your manipulative behavior, or your cruelty, or your whatever bad behavior you have. So you've been through lots of very small, short, unstable relationships, and I'm the first person who, doesn't respect himself enough that he's, willing to give himself as a romantic partner. I think that's a very reasonable situation to be like, well, actually, you know what? Maybe you don't really like me how like you say you do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, hey, I kind of like Brittany Renner. I like and respect Brittany Renner.
Well, it would be a good conversation, but I gotta get the fuck out of here. So.
True that.
Yeah. But it would be good to talk about. Maybe we'll be able to talk about it next week, depending on if she says some other crazy shit. But look, folks, if you see the pigs coming up to your doorstep talking about a $80 trash bill, you might be seeing a red flag. But if you are quick as hell to rally behind a nigga shooting his girlfriend in the foot with all confidence that this nigga's not guilty, might be you just waving the red flag. It's been Waving the Red Flag podcast. It's been Eddie. It's been Josh. We'll see y'all next week. Join us on Patreon to chop it up with us live every episode and get bonus episodes. And like, subscribe, let us know what you think. And that's for both the folks on YouTube and Spotify, because Spotify got comments now. So hop in them comments, let us know what you think. We do read those. And peace. See y'all next week.
Happy New Year.
And yes, Happy New Year. Get those, what you call it?